Today's unit, process costing. Let's understand the concept. 100 pages के notebook में आ जाइए. First we are going to write what is the meaning of process costing. जल्दी जल्दी लिखो. So overview of this chapter, what we are going to see it in this chapter: meaning, features, costing procedures, treatment in cost accounting, equivalent units, very important, methods for valuation of WIP, inter-process profit, and what is operation costing. So first thing you have to write meaning of process costing. So write down in 100 pages notebook. 100 pages notebook में आ जाइए जल्दी से and write down what is the meaning of this process costing. Material passes through two or more processes in industries. Material passes through two or more processes in industries. Okay. A process is continuous and has separate accounts. Output of one process becomes the input of another process till completion. So लिख दीजिए meaning of process costing. Meaning of process costing. $100 pages notebook में लिखो. Material passes through two or more processes in industries. A process is continuous and has separate account, and output of one process becomes input of another process. Till completion. Chaitali, over. Okay. Features. Each plant or factory is divided in number of processes. One or more processes run sequentially, selectively, or simultaneously. The output of one process becomes the input of another process. End products are usually not distinguishable, and production may give rise to joint or any byproduct. So write down features. 4 marks के लिए question आ सकते. Each plant divided into number of processes. One or more processes run sequentially, selectively, or simultaneously. End products are not usually distinguishable. Production may give rise to joint or any byproduct. चैताली ओवर बोल देना होने के बाद. Okay. Next one. Costing procedure you don't have to write. Costing procedure is very simple. So pro forma, material, labor, direct expenses and production overhead you will write it on the debit side. So process account का pro forma क्या होगा? Process account is divided in actually 3 parts. These questions are divided in 3 parts: material, labor, direct expenses and production overheads. तो सबसे पहले debit में material, you whatever consume material will be debited. Then second process is debited with the transfer of first process. तो जो भी first process से transfer होगा वो आपका process 2 में आएगा. and the cost of additional material required ये भी उसमें add हो जाएगा. Labor cost is debited and some different process for apportionment of labor cost according to hours work. So labor cost we will divide according to hours work. Then direct expenses is debited to process account and production overhead will be recovered on some basis. Production overhead will be recovered on some basis. So you don't have to write this material, labor, direct expenses and production overheads. Don't write this costing procedure. So debit किसको होगा that you have to understand. Now this is very important. Write down what is the treatment of normal loss, abnormal loss and abnormal gain. Write down treatment of normal loss and abnormal gain. Normal loss, abnormal and abnormal gain. Written. Chalo, write down. What is the normal loss? See, normal loss is absorbed by good units. So suppose if your cost, I will explain it in detail. So normal loss क्या होता है? Already you studied it in the foundation. So normal loss means suppose if I bought 10 pens at rupees 10 pens are bought at rupees 100 and rupees 1000 is divided, assume 10 pens bought at rupees 10, 100 and 1000 rupees is the total cost. Out of that, now suppose one pen is a normal loss. One pen is a normal loss. So 1000 we have to divide it by 9 pens. So what is the formula? Cost per unit is equal to rupees, means you will deduct one pen from the 10 pens. So normal loss is absorbed by good units. So this cost of rupees 1000, it is not absorbed by 10 pens, but it is absorbed by 9 pens. So what is the treatment of normal loss? So normal loss की treatment क्या है? याद रखना, it is absorbed by good units. It is unavoidable and inherent, means you cannot avoid it. So absorbed by good units and NRV credited to process account. Now this is important. So this may be asked in the exam. What is the treatment of normal loss? So yes, write down this point. Normal loss treatment, inherent and unavoidable, absorbed by good units and NRV is credited to process account. जल्दी जल्दी लिखना. Over Chaitali. Next. Abnormal loss. Now see, abnormal loss we record it. एबनॉर्मल लॉस की एंट्री होती है और एबनॉर्मल लॉस हम लोग रिकॉर्ड करते हैं एट कॉस्ट पर यूनिट एंड एबनॉर्मल लॉस इज डेबिटेड टू प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट एंड प्रोसेस अकाउंट विल बी क्रेडिटेड। तो प्रोसेस अकाउंट के क्रेडिट में जाएगा एंड एबनॉर्मल लॉस डेबिट में आएगा पी एंड एल के डेबिट में। सो वी रिकॉर्ड इट, इट इज नॉट रिकॉर्डेड एट स्क्रैप वैल्यू लाइक नॉर्मल लॉस, इट इज नॉट absorbed by good units, but we have to pass a separate entry. So this is loss which is more than what is anticipated. So you anticipated 1 unit is your loss, but 2 pens are better damage case. So 2 pen damage हो गए, तो 1 is allowed and 1 is extra loss, and extra loss we have to record it as a loss. So extra loss ये over and above normal figure, this is credited to process account and debited to P&L account. So very simple, abnormal process loss, how it is recorded. Write down abnormal process loss treatment of abnormal loss. Loss which is more than the anticipated, credited to P&L, debited to P&L and credited to process account. Exactly, abnormal gain. Now beta, it is reduction in the normal figure. So you thought that 5 pens will be lost, but actual lost is only 4 pen. So 1 pen is beta loss which is less than the anticipated figure. So your expectation was 5 pens damage, but actual pens 4 pens damage हुए, तो इसका मतलब आपका एक पेन बच गया। तो ये abnormal gain प्रोसेस च्या डेबिटला एंड क्रेडिट टू P&L ये ट्रीटमेंट होगा। राइट डाउन, प्रोसेस के क्रेडिट में और P&L, सॉरी प्रोसेस के डेबिट में और P&L के क्रेडिट में। फोकस बहुत सिंपल है। सो ऑल ट्रीटमेंट्स 100 पेजेस के नोटबुक में 2-2 मार्क्स के लिए क्वेश्चन आएगा, ओनली फॉर 2-2 मार्क्स। व्हाट इज द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ नॉर्मल लॉस, और 1 मार्क नॉर्मल लॉस एंड एबनॉर्मल गेन। सो यू हैव टू राइट इट इन 1 लाइन। ओवर। Now what is equivalent units, that we are going to see tomorrow. So in next session we are going to start with the problem. So but before starting, so this topic is basically divided in topic. Yes, you can write this. Topic is divided in 3 parts. 100 pages notebook only. 3 parts. 1, process account. No equivalent units. No equivalent units, that is no WIP. No WIP, no equivalent units means there is no WIP. Process account, if equivalent units, that is WIP. And last one, inter process profit. Inter process profit. So inter process profit is the last part. So topic is divided in 3 parts: process account and inter process profit. But process account में again 2 parts, no equivalent units. जल्दी से आ जाइए अभी क्वेश्चन में। पहले तो हम लोग इसका टाइप 1 देखते हैं। दिस इज टाइप 1 प्रोफॉर्मा। लेट्स सी, लेट्स रिवाइज क्विकली हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चंस। टाइप 1 के क्वेश्चंस, प्रोसेस अकाउंट 100 पेजेस के नोटबुक में ही लिखना है, आगे भी। ओवर चैताली। टाइप 1 प्रोसेस अकाउंट, प्रोसेस अकाउंट। राइट डाउन हाउ टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन। यस यस आलोक जी। आलोक बता। लाइब्रेरी to material consumed on the debit side, or it might be transfer from process 1 आएगा to labor or employee cost, to direct expense, and to overheads. To overheads. By transfer to next process. By transfer to next process. By normal loss at scrap value. By abnormal loss. By abnormal loss at cost per unit. And by closing stock at cost per unit is also at cost per unit, and to abnormal gain at cost per unit. So units are given in the question, so don't worry, units are given in the question. Now how to calculate cost per unit, that you have to understand. Total cost minus scrap value divided by total units minus normal loss in units. Minus normal loss in units. Over. Okay. So that we have to finish now. Process account क्या होता है ये आपको समझ में आया? It's very simple. So ये वीडियो में हमने देखा था कॉस्ट पर यूनिट क्या होता है, प्रोसेस अकाउंट. तो लेट्स क्विकली रिवाइज दिस वीडियो में हमने रिवीजन इसमें क्या देखा. सबसे पहले वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अ प्रोसेस अकाउंट. प्रोसेस अकाउंट इज नथिंग बट वन प्रोसेस में इट विल बी इनपुट ऑफ आउटपुट ऑफ वन प्रोसेस विल बिकम नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस का इनपुट. सो प्रोसेस बाय प्रोसेस यू आर डूइंग कॉस्ट सेंटर. सो कॉस्ट सेंटर जो होता है वो प्रोसेस अकाउंट होता है. सो यू विल चार्ज यूर एक्सपेंसेस टू स्पेसिफिक प्रोसेस 1, प्रोसेस 2, प्रोसेस 3 एंड वन यूनिट का वन प्रोसेस का आउटपुट दूसरे प्रोसेस का इनपुट हो जाएगा. तो इट्स वेरी सिंपल. But problem is that in this process account we have some this topic is divided in 3 parts. Number 1 is normal problems without WIP. So if WIP is there, that is equivalent units, and last part is the inter-process profit that we are going to see it in next session. So inter-process profit क्या होता है? So this topic is divided in 3. So today we are going to see only the first part of this chapter, that is a process account. Process account में पहला जो होता है to expenses you will write on the debit side and credit side पे by transfer to next process लिखोगे. By normal loss is always recorded at scrap value. By abnormal loss is always recorded at cost per unit. By closing stock is also, if 90% question में closing stock will not be given, but remember this closing stock is not WIP का closing stock, इतना याद रखिए. So WIP का closing stock नहीं रहेगा, and abnormal gain is also recorded at cost per unit. And cost per unit how to calculate? Total cost minus scrap value divided by total units minus normal. आई होप ये फॉर्मूला आप सबको आ जाएगा. ये फॉर्मूला आपका लास्ट डे रिवीजन नोट्स में ये फॉर्मूला आपको याद रखना, हाउ टू कैलकुलेट कॉस्ट पर यूनिट. सो दिस इज वेरी सिंपल. सो एक ही चीज दिमाग में रखना है, नॉर्मल लॉस ये स्क्रैप वैल्यू पे रिकॉर्ड होता है, नॉर्मल लॉस ये स्क्रैप वैल्यू पे रिकॉर्ड होता है, एंड एबनॉर्मल लॉस और एबनॉर्मल गेन ये कॉस्ट पर यूनिट पे रिकॉर्ड होते हैं. इवन ट्रांसफर टू नेक्स्ट प्रोसेस भी कॉस्ट पर यूनिट पे. तो कैसे सॉल्व करना है इसके लिए आपको नेक्स्ट वीडियो देखना पड़ेगा. दिस ऑल फॉर प्रोसेस अकाउंट का फर्स्ट पार्ट, दैट इज नो इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स. इफ इक्विवेलेंट यूनिट्स तो उसका एक सेशन ही अलग होगा. सो ये पहले थ्योरी में हमने देखा था टाइप 1 व्हाट इज प्रोसेस अकाउंट कॉस्ट.